Thank you so much for joining me. And today I'm going to take a look at the trades I took on Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Today, it was a red day, not the best trading today at all. This is one of those days where you wish you just didn't trade at all. So I took 3 trades today, 2 on the Qs and 1 on AMD. The Qs took 1 to the long side and 1 to the short side, and then a long on AMD. So looking at the market today, the market was pretty flat. Same as the day before, opened up barely positive at all, about 10 or so points. And the first half hour of the day, it was pretty much fluctuating between positive and negative. So a whole lot of chop and not any real direction. It was pretty difficult to find any decent setup. There were a couple trades that I could have taken, but just wasn't too sure. And then the trades I did take, pretty much chasing it and not really waiting for a quality setup. So the first trade I took was on the Qs, and that was at the 315 call. Took that trade at 9:32 and 30 seconds. One contract got filled at $1.15. Now this is a trade that I really hardly ever take, if ever at all. I can't even remember the last time I took a trade like this. So this is right off the open. Just a couple minutes in. So saw this green candle here. If you're looking at the chart, I always draw the levels on here. So the red line below is the previous day's close, and the 2 purple lines are the pre-market high above and the pre-market low. So the pre-market low and the previous day's low are pretty much almost the same, an area right there, same level. And that yellow line is the previous day's close. So it opened right off of the pre-market low and shot up through, went red to green. And I thought it was going to attempt to test the pre-market high. So I took a quick long here, got the call at, once again, 9:32 for a quick move above. I've seen that trade happen a lot of times. I'd rarely take it, and this is the exact reason why I never take it. So I got in at 115, immediately started to reverse. This would have been a better short. This is basically opposite day. Everything I took went the other direction. So got out at 9:33 and 7 seconds. So just barely, 37 seconds held the trade, but it went against me pretty fast, as everything does off the open. Lots of volatility and lots of volume there, but no real direction for the first almost half hour or so. So took a pretty quick, sizable loss there. And the next trade was on the Q, so I figured if I couldn't go long, of course, I'd try and go short. So the next trade was at the 313 put on the Qs. Got in at 9:56 and 12 seconds. Got filled here at 95 cents, so not a bad fill. But looking at the setup, they're looking back at it. Everything, of course, hindsight is always 20/20. But I thought maybe it would retest the pre-market low at least, or possibly see that long wick at the third red candle, the third candle of the day. That red candle would wick down right below previous day's low. So that was the move. I was looking for it to retest that area. But looking at the setup here, looking at the candle I got in on at 9:56, it was still pretty much trending sideways from the morning. So this is pretty much more of a FOMO trade than anything else. There's no real setup here. It was crossing right at VWAP and 9 EMA. The red line is the 9 EMA and the purple line is VWAP. So it's right there trending sideways, no real direction. This really wasn't a trade for anything, especially at that area. So not a good trade here. I don't mind taking a loss on a good setup, but this was just an unnecessary loss. Not a good risk reward and no real setup, just basically chasing and hoping here. So not a good execution here. And then the last trade of the day was on AMD. So the AMD trade was not really a terrible setup, but it wasn't really an A+ or not even a decent, I would say maybe a C or C- as far as a setup. So the trade here at AMD was got in at the $93 call. Got filled at 136, took the trade at 10:28 and 21 seconds. So this trade was right as it was hitting resistance at pre-market low, which is the purple line, and then the previous day's low. So those levels were pretty much right together. It was holding that area pretty good in pre-market, and that's where it fell through at the beginning of the day. So the idea behind it anyway was for it to push through and possibly retest the previous day close and possibly for a quick red to green move. That was the idea anyway. But I'll look at those green candles behind it. That, in hindsight, is not really the best setup, especially when you see the volume decreasing at those shorter candles at the end. So that was the idea behind it anyway, and probably more so than not, just trying to get back some of those losses from those two earlier trades on the Qs. So got in here, bought 2 contracts on AMD, got filled at 136 at 10, 28, and 21 seconds. Now, if you see the next order, I tried to get out. It was up pretty decently, held it for a minute there. Was at around trading at 145, 146. I was looking for a little bit push higher, so that's why I held it. I had an order, a limit order entered rather at around, I think it was 145 or so. Got close to it. I was looking for a little bit push higher. That was more out of greed versus any level here. But once again, I was looking for it to hopefully push towards the previous day close to test that level, but it never quite got there. So as it pushed close, I was holding it. And then you see that big green candle and then the succession of red candles right after as everything started getting sold. So get out. That was what you see, those two, the order here that never filled, it says cancel. That was the limit order. So I ended up canceling that and getting out both contracts at 139. So a small profit there would have been a little bit better if I got out at 145, but it still wouldn't erase the day. And as I mentioned before, you never really want to trade your P&L. You want to just trade the charts. Every time you start trading your P&L, you can get into trouble with that. So even on my trading software, I trade with Street Smart Edge with Charles Schwab. I take off the P&L so that I'm not looking at it being red or green, and try to stay focused on, is the trade good? Is this a good trade? And if I wasn't in this trade, would I want to be in here? And if I wasn't, would I want to get in now? So that's kind of the theory I look at when I'm looking at analyzing the trade. Today didn't do such a good job at that. The first 2 trades, like I said, the first one just chasing, and then the second one more of a FOMO out of anything. So not really great setup. So I don't mind taking a loss if it's on a good setup, if the trade just didn't work out. But these first 2 trades, and even partially the third trade, really weren't the best setup. So those are trades I shouldn't have taken. That was risk that really wasn't worth the reward that I was trying to look after. So just those 3 trades, 2 on the Qs and 1 on AMD, to be down on this red day, $42.23. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a like below. And if you want to continue to follow along on the journey, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.